Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another video from Eddie's World of Figures. Today, I have a 3-for-1 review for you guys. On the left, I have Vegeta in his old style battle clothes, and on the right, I have the old but still good Son Goku, a Saiyan raised on Earth. And in the middle, this is pretty much new. It's actually, if you guys are a returning fan of the channel or viewer, you actually notice that this has kind of been in the background on the right side over there. I'm missing. But this is the new SS Figuarts medical machine that was in the Namek saga. So, that's enough of that intro. I can't wait to review these 3 items with you guys. Let's get on with this. As always, guys, we'll start off by the boxes. First off, will be the medical machine itself. First thing I want to point out, very front of the box itself, you'll notice a warning label. This warning label is because the medical machine itself comes with batteries included already in it. So they don't want people putting in their mouths or any children getting a hold of this. They're not supposed to get a hold of this because it can cause bodily harm. So, as it says right there, keep out of reach. Yeah, actually, keep new and used batteries out of reach of children. You got this yellow sign. It's like, don't do it. Anyhow, at the very front, you have the picture of the medical machine itself. Good little silhouette of the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku that does not come in this box. At the very bottom here, you have the designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, Bandai Spirits made in Vietnam. Unfortunately, this was put together in the Vietnam factory, but hopefully they don't have any issues. I haven't had any issues since I've had this for some time now, but we're going to move on. We do have the Toy Animation sticker here. It's a silver one saying that this is for the US release. You have the Dragon Ball Z logo, the Premium Bandai, aka P Bandai logo here, signifying that this was a Premium Bandai pre-order release. Lucky enough, I was able to put this pre-order in. This retailed for $95 USD. You have the Tamashii Nations logo here, Bandai logo, and you have the new Tamashii Nations seal quality here. On the left, you have the actual name of what the product is. SS Figuarts, the medical machine. Nothing fancy here, just your typical white font that they use with these figures now. We'll turn it to the side. You have more pictures. Nothing really going on here with this. I'll go on in a minute. It does have some gimmicks in it, and I'll get into that a little later. You have a weird picture of the top of the medical machine. One of the faces of Goku. Another face of Goku, in the medical machine, and the controls. So I guess to show you, like, hey, this thing has all these nice little gimmicks going on. There's also a nice little continuation of the picture from the front going on the side here. And at the bottom, you'll see they have the logo there, letting you know what this is and what line it's from. Move on to the back. We have finally some nice color pictures here. You have the base picture of the medical machine in the front. You have the old style battle clothes Vegeta here in the picture. He does not come in this package as well either. These are all separate figures, so you have to buy them separately. Another picture of Goku, all dazed up and beat up. Another picture of Goku in the medical machine, the controls, and believe it or not, this medical machine comes with light up effects. So you do see, like, they have the different colorations on the pictures here. Turning to the side, you have a pretty much an open cutout of what's inside, showing you a bit of the effects, not the effects, the accessories, and Of course, I have the medical machine out, but the medical machine, you see the silhouette and the plastic here. It'll be sitting in the middle. Let me turn this to the side here. Again, you have the logo here, medical machine. Pretty simple this is to be 95 bucks, but it's still good. Again, at the bottom, you have the logo again, SS Figuarts medical machine. We'll turn it to the top. Not really much going on. Let me flip it around so you guys can see a little better. Not really much going on at the top, but you do, that's me. But you do have a little bit, I say a little bit. You do have a better window of what's going on inside of here. You're not trying to hide anything at all. You have another little slight picture here of the medical machine. Not much. At the bottom, you have this big picture displaying Goku inside of it. Open door, and I'll show all that too once we get into the actual figures themselves. You have again the SS Figuarts medical machine. The logo is pretty much all over this box. And that is pretty much it for this particular box. And now we'll move on to the other two. This box is pretty big, by the way. It's pretty big. Just for comparison, here's a regular SS Figuarts box. This is what I'll talk about in a second here. And then here's the Son Goku Saiyan Raised on Earth box. So this box is pretty big. So if you're an in-box collector, be sure to have some pretty good space for this thing here. But right now, I'll get on to reviewing the other boxes. So I'll try to quickly go over the boxes. I don't want to spend too much time on the boxes because I won't say it gets repetitive, but there's a lot of stuff I want to go over, especially since I'm reviewing 3 things at once. So I don't want this video to drag on for too long. So we'll quickly talk about the front of the boxes. At the front, both boxes, you have the picture, pretty much standard picture of what the figure is. You'll see Vegeta here, Goku on the right over here. Some good poses here. You have the name of the figures in white. You have the SS Figuarts logo, Vegeta, older style battle clothes, letting you know what particular version of Vegeta this is. And on the right here, you have SS Figuarts Son Goku, a Saiyan Raised on Earth. There are so many Gokus in this line. Same thing with Vegeta. So they got to figure out the name scheming somehow. At the bottom, you'll see, again, the design by Tamashii in Japan. I will say, from my experience with these boxes, the official ones will always say designed by Tamashii in Japan. The only time it changes is at the bottom here. You'll see this one says Bandai Spirits, made in Vietnam. It's just the different factors, like I pointed out before in my previous videos. And this one over here says Bandai Spirits, made in China. We prefer the Chinese factory over the Vietnamese because of QC issues, but nowadays that's kind of preference at this point. It's like but anyhow, moving on. Since this is a newer figure, you have the newer but smaller Tamashii seal of quality seal here. Of course, you have the warning label and all that stuff here. The Tamashii logo. You have since again this is a US release, I'm in the US. This is the silver Toei animation sticker. Since also this box has the premium Bandai logo on it, just like the medical machine. This Vegeta was a pre-order that I was lucky enough to get my order in. Retail wise, he was 60 bucks. Yeah, 60 bucks. Not bad for a premium Bandai figure of this, especially of this time and age right now. This is actually before the tariffs. Over here, the Goku on the right is an older figure. It's an older box. That's why you see the old Tamashii seal quality. It's a little reflective. I like the seal a lot better than the new one. You can actually see, the reflectiveness in there. A lot of bootleggers, they're not really able to copy the sticker. I haven't seen it. But you have the Dragon Ball Z logo at the bottom. Tamashii logo also Bandai logo, and the silver toy animation sticker. This one says older. This is before Funimation got bought out by Crunchyroll. My box still has the old Funimation sticker on it. So let's turn it to the side here quickly. You have your pretty much your pictures. Some of these be random pictures. Like I don't know why they took a picture of Goku's back. Like look at this logo. Vegeta's much better in my opinion. Got his little crying face here with his damaged armor effect here, and I'll show you guys what that entails later in. His yelling face, him simulating him pulling his glove on, Goku's random hand, Goku's grunting face, whatever you want to call that. Just like a lot of these newer boxes, the front picture tends to pretty much overlap into the side of the box, which I do like. I like this design. At the bottom, you have the logo of the figure itself, SS Figuarts Vegeta on the left, stating it's the older style battle clothes. On the right, SS Figuarts Son Goku, a Saiyan raised on Earth here. And on the back, you have your base pictures here. I say base, but I'm pretty much just saying like this is like your, a lot of times the picture that's on the front, or you're just pretty much choosing like a static pose, like a regular pose they're choosing for the picture. Yeah, if again, Vegeta kind of crying. Some other action poses here. Jace. I hope they reissue this guy because he got expensive, but moving on. Got Goku in this little happy go phase here. Goku about to, looks like, do instant transmission, which is weird because he didn't learn his transmission until, of course, the Android saga. But I guess they were just picking something here. On the right, you have a close up of that same face that's over here. I think they were just running out of ideas for this freaking figure. But anyhow, Goku doing the Kamehameha. You have Goku doing his pretty much his, I wouldn't say this is iconic stance, but one of his stances. Goku punching Frieza. Pretty much a good overall back of the box here. Just pretty much straightforward with the pictures and things like that. I won't go too far in depth. I feel like I do that almost every video. On the side here, open window. You have in Big White. You have the Vegeta older style battle clothes. And you can see the face plates here. Same thing on the right with the Goku box. You see Son Goku or Saiyan Raised on Earth. On the top, open window again. You have a nice little picture here. Still don't know why they chose to have Goku doing this transmission because he doesn't know it yet in this timeline. And you have Vegeta sleeping. Not bad. And then if you're an inbox collector, you want the ladies on the shelf like this, they do have it where they have these nice pictures on the bottom. I do like that take two on these boxes. So it's like you can kind of display these wherever you want. On the shelf like a book style or laying on top of each other. I like that. Or if you want them this way, doesn't matter. Or this way. They look good either way. But alright guys, that's enough hanging on the boxes. Let's get into the actual accessories of these figures. I pretty much have the clamshells out of the boxes. The first thing I want to go over, and you see there's not really much to the medical machine, but the machine itself in the center here. As you can see, this picture that's being in the middle here in the clamshell. But over here, you have a really nice detailed head scope of Goku sleeping, and you have a nice little face scope addition where he's kind of awake but kind of dazed. You have like the little tube that goes into this piece here, and you have these little things here that actually peg into the head scope there. Now we have Vegeta on the left, Goku on the right. I'll go Vegeta first. Vegeta has 4 additional faceplates. You have him yelling out right here. He's real serious and No, this is actually, sorry, this is his nervous face, where he's kind of sweating a little bit, his sleeping face, and his crying face. That's what Frieza beat the crap out of him. On the right here, we have 3 additional hands, including the fist that already come on the figure. So 4 in total, 4 pairs. We have, you guys notice, this is the first figure I've had where you can actually change out like the armor plates, or pretty much like the chest piece and stuff like that. I want to show that a little later too in the video. And you have these really nice cross arms. And these are the newer style cross arms, and I'll show what that entails in too. I like the system they started using with these. Over here, you have the Goku. This was a $35 general release. It's actually gone up a little bit in price since then because of tariffs. I think this guy's hovering around like 38 now. You can get them for some pretty good prices now because a lot of people are discounting them. But anyhow, this Goku comes with 3 additional faceplates. Now, he does come in the package like this, with his like one of his little hands like this. I'll not explain it. But comes with an addition, well, I say additional, but does come with the right hand fist here already in the package for you. Comes with 5 other hands here. There's not really much to this figure. It's kind of like one of those entry level figures that just like is priced at a point where it's to kind of just get you started with the line and then go from there. But yeah, that's enough of that. What I want to show you guys now are the actual accessories with the figures. We'll start with the Vegeta. So this will be the first time a figure with my collection where you're able to change out the pieces here. So what you do is you can detach the front chest piece here, and dig it out here. I should have added that already. Apologies, guys. And you can press it in here, and the difference between the one I took off and the one that's on there now, you notice it right here, there's a bit of damage to it. There's a bit of sculpting going on where it's cracked. Get the camera here, get you guys see it a little better. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. If you remove the front brown plate here, you can pretty much press in the damaged piece there. Isn't that cool? So this is when Frieza was punching him in the stomach repeatedly and broke his armor. And so if you think this was over, yeah. Same thing with the back. You can remove the back piece. I'll set that aside here. We're going to remove the bottom piece too. And look how easy this is. Now, it does look ugly when you're removing it. You can pretty much see the whole, pretty much how the figure works itself. But I like this because like it's almost like you're building your own figure when you're changing it out. But look at the effects, the detail. I'll get into that too a little later in the video because I do want to show that. I just wanted to really show the accessories in action with this Vegeta, what you're paying for. So unfortunately, it's a pre-Bandai figure, so prices have kind of gone up with them on the secondhand market. So you're looking at about $100 plus for this guy now. It hasn't gotten out of hand just yet, but you can still get him for a decent price. There you go. How cool that is. That's a cool accessory. That's pretty much the whole gimmick of this figure in itself, are these pieces. But I'm okay with that. Very much so okay with that. Let's swap out his faceplate right quick. And we'll show you guys just how easy it is. They did change it up a little bit with the faceplates. It just has to square. Well, I keep dropping the face. Sorry about that. But it's just a simple square peg. And you just like so. Let me stay in focus right here. So we're gonna pretty much put on the legendary crying face here. 1 second. Here we go. You just peg it in like that. Poor Vegeta. Kept wanting to be a Super Saiyan. And didn't work out too well. Yeah, pretty cool. One last thing that's included, and I want to show you guys the arm piece. So you can easily pop out the arms, so don't be afraid of breaking this guy in the shoulders or arms or anything like that. They engineered this guy pretty well. They must put a lot of time in engineering this guy. You just place him right here. You guys have to look at him armless for a little bit. So now you have these nice little cross arms, but what's different this time around is instead of it being one whole piece, you now have it in two pieces, so it's pegged in. There you go. So you'll simply take one end. Now this part can be somewhat difficult, not too much. Just make sure the shoulders here are kind of flayed out a little bit. Well, flared. And then you can easily press in like such. So you hear the click. And now you'll come. You might have to pull the shoulders out just a tad, like what I'm doing here. And then you simply line up the pegs here. And there you go. Simply press it in. And now you have him with his crossed arms, you like he's just pouting. I wanna be a Super Saiyan. I wanna. That's pretty cool though. But yeah, as far as like accessories, that's pretty much it besides the hands. It's not really much going on, but still a good figure. Like I said before, it's a good representation of this time of Vegeta out of the anime. Set this guy right here. So Goku, not really too much. It's your typical heads. Well, since this is one of the first 2.0s of Goku, this was used to be like our definitive base Goku here. Take his hairpiece off. And the faceplate here, it's a little tight. I barely removed the faceplates on this Goku in particular. But yeah, you see how this nice, happy, smiling face here. So I'm just gonna quickly swap out to a serious face. Just to show you guys real quick. And there you go. Now he's in a serious face. And we're gonna swap out his default waving hand to his full closed fist. This out of the package. Here we go. And it's got that simple wrist pack system here. And I'll get into the details here in a bit. Yeah, I just want to show you guys a bit of the accessories. There's not, again, it's not really much going on with this one at all. Kind of like your typical Goku. The only real excitement was the Vegeta, but the whole gimmick was the armor pieces here. You see on the table here. That's really it. Move this guy's face out the way. It's creepy. But yeah. Besides that, that's really it. Besides the faces. So, I do want to move on to the medical machine now. I want to show you guys the accessories and how to put that together. And after that, we'll go over the details after that. Doing things a little different because there's so much to talk about again. Okay, guys, I'm back again. So now, we're now on the medical machine itself. So, to open this guy up at the front, you'll simply, there's like a little, they do have like a little slot here. Let me demonstrate here, right here. So you take your finger, your thumb, whatever you like, Simply press in just a little bit and you can open up the door like such. When you do open it up, you'll see there is a little bit of design in there, some sculpting going on. The side of the door, you'll be met with a battery panel, and there is like a little pull tab in here that you pull out, and then that pretty much lets the batteries connect to each other. And there's a switch. So say like you have this thing in your display, you have it on, and you're not really using it, you can turn the switch off so you're not using up your batteries. And what I do like too is they've included what type of batteries go in this thing. I like that. So I'm going to turn the switch on quick and just show you guys real quick, although like the little light gimmick here, and you'll press the button and it starts illuminating. It does have like a little pressure switch in there, so when you close the door, it does light up, and then when you open it, it turns off. Cool little thing. And you press the button itself right here, this little switch. That's when it starts illuminating the light. All right, let's get on with the accessories for this guy. So, as I mentioned before, you have this really nice head sculpt here. Get it in focus. Come on, camera. There we go. So you have this really nice head sculpt here, and you'll see there's some holes on the side of this head sculpt, and those are for this little deal here. Now this thing could be a bit of a pain putting it into the medical machine. Now you don't have to use this face sculpt particularly, so I'll show that too. You do have two options. You can remove the hair sculpt here. Demonstrate that. Here's the hair sculpt here with the faceplate off. Set that aside. And you can simply peg in the second one. And then you peg in the hair. And this one does have the holes on the side too to connect. I'm not sure what to call these. These little doodads here. We'll call it that. Little doodads. And you simply peg them in. Nice little accessories there. And then you have this little tube here. Well, I'm going to call this thing, this little doodad here. We're gonna do this first. Peg this guy in like such. One second, let me read the instructions, make sure I'm putting this in the right way. Okay. So I looked up the instructions that come in the box, and the little tube slots in like so. Then camera, like that. All right. And then you have these two little holes that sit in the medical machine. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, and you can pretty much use any Goku 2.0 that you have in your collection. You don't have to use the Saiyan Raised on Earth in particular, but I'm using it for this particular, because it's for the thing. I'm going to use the Saiyan Raised on Earth. So I'm going to remove the head here, and I'm going to attach the other head sculpt here, like so. One second, let me get this guy in a nice little pose here. All right. Kind of got mine sitting like such. It's all kind of dizzy. So now I'm going to peg in the front little tube here, like so. Do be careful when you're trying to press this in. You might have to push and turn like so. Let's see here. There we go. Turn it just a bit. There we go. Now this part I found kind of annoying, trying to get this thing in just the right way. But we'll fight this together. So what I do like, because they knew this was going to be a hassle, so you peg it in like so. Let me bring this in. Yep, peg it in like so. Let me turn this head just a tad. The top cap up here does come out. And that lets you take your fingers, demonstrate this, lets you take your fingers in there. And I'm gonna show you guys the struggles of some of these. Some people just cut and they're like, all right, it's done. Nah, I'm gonna struggle with you guys. And there you go. I've got it pressed in like so. All right. And now I'm gonna close this bad boy, and you can see Goku in there looking all dizzy, and he's like, oh, where am I? I press the button and it illuminates even further and pulsates. Isn't that pretty cool? Turn it around a little bit so you guys can see. Pretty cool. Put the cap back on. And it just slots in. It doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't peg in anywhere. It just pops in. That's it. Bring it a little bit for, oh, bring it in just a little bit. There you go. All right, guys. That pretty much wrap it up for the accessories. So now what I want to talk about are the articulation. Okay, so now I want to go over the articulation with you guys. First up, Vegeta. Let's see if he can do a full T-pose here. Let me scoot Goku a little bit in the back. And be careful, like, doing this. It does kind of knock off the place a little bit. I do wish they could have implemented the, I guess, the armor a little bit better. But, you know what? Real quick, I wish they could have, like, done, like, maybe, like, a second torso instead of just having, like, these weird peg systems. I guess they were trying to keep down the price, but just something to think about there. But he can do a full T-pose here. As far as like his arms going all the way up, that's as far as it goes. His arms can do a full 360 rotation pretty easily. He can look up this far, which is actually really good. Although, when he does look up, his neck does leave a little bit of a gap here. But that was kind of the same problem with the, it was the, I think the other Namek armor. I'll do a review of that one too. I forgot the specific name of that one. But yeah, there was another issue there when they started remodeling Vegeta a little bit. But you look that far, looking down, not so great, almost non-existent. You do get a little bit of looking down because of the single uh, neck joint here, that single uh, ball joint and swivel. That's really it. As you see here, his neck does not come down at all, but going up, really good range. Which is strange because he's supposed to be looking down the tad, you know, when you're doing like the crying face. But also, speaking of looking down, he does not have any ab crunch. It is non-existent. But looking up, he can look up that far. Like he does have some really good like back swivel. Let's say back swivel. We'll call it that. But yeah, looking up when you're doing it from this angle, he does have some good range. Just looking down, I just caught me off guard. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's nothing at all. I guess that was kind of the compromise they had to do to implement this type of armor style. But oh well. There's no waist swivel at all either. Like it's none. Like you can't do anything. Although you can do a 360 rotation of his hips though. Just no rotation at all. Let's see about his legs. That's as far as you can. He cannot hardly do splits. It's like, when did we see Vegeta do splits anyway? But yeah, the way they implemented the I guess like the little, I don't know what to call these. I guess the hip joints, like all this plastic, like it's just, yeah, it just obstructs the range. Like he can only have his leg go this far back on the right leg, not much range at all. You guys can see. And I'm trying too. Like if I force it, I'll probably end up breaking it, which I don't want to do. Going up, he does have some decent range, kicking forward, then back down. Same thing on the left leg, kicking up, pretty good range, and then kicking back, non-existent, almost nothing. Back to the arms, does have some nice rotation at the shoulder, rotate a full 360. Elbow joint, it's a double joint here. Does have some good range. His forearm does come all the way back to his bicep pretty good. Same thing for the right arm. It's real nice. Wrist swivel. It's your typical wrist peg here. Ball joint in the swivel. You can rotate it and get some decent range here, wherever you might like for your different poses. There you go. You can still rotate in a full 360. Back to the legs. You have a double knee joint. Seemed like it's a really good knee joint range still, because his calf can come all the way back to his back of the thigh. Same thing with the right leg. And the foot just fell out here. Looks like they did change the foot design just a tad to where you can now get some really good range, because you couldn't do this before with the previous Vegeta boots, where you can barely get any range. Looks like we have that now. Look at there. You can bend his foot all the way down now, but it does pop out. I won't say easy, but it can fall out if you're not careful. So be careful of that. And you can move it back and forth as you like. But look at the way they designed this. Yeah, it's got better range of motion now. Did not have that before. And you can rotate this. It pops out so easy. You can rotate this in a full 360. Both feet do the same. And toe joints. No good toe swivel at all. Like, it just only goes that far. Very strange. Huh. Same thing for the left foot. That's it. Yeah, that is it. Not much at all. All right. Yeah, that pretty much does it for this guy in his range of motion. Articulation, it's a meh for me. It's really a meh. I really feel like they were just trying to hurry and get this guy out after the last Vegeta. It was before this one that had the first Namek armor, and I do have that in my collection. Now I do plan on doing a review of that guy a little later on. But yeah, this is good though, because we always wanted the old battle style clothes, but quite a disappointment on the articulation. I feel like it could have been implemented a little bit better than what it is. But we're gonna set this guy to the side, and we're gonna move on to Goku. Now this is like your typical 2.0 body. We have these a dime a dozen, so I'll be real quick with this. Let's see here. We'll start with the arms. You can only go that far because of the way the sleeves are designed on these old molds here. Still has the 360 range of rotation, just like the Vegeta in the back left here. Same thing on the right arm. Neck range, you can look up only that far. Looking down, pretty decent. Not the best. It's all right. It's about the same as that Vegeta back there. You'll think the looking up range would be a little bit better, but this Goku doesn't have hardly have any neck swivel whatsoever. Like it's almost not, at least on my copy here. And I have multiple of these guys. They're all about the same. Yeah. Typical ball joint and swivel here. You can rotate this guy around and get some different ranges with the faces and heads. Take that back in. There we go. Has also double elbow joints. Forearm goes all the way back to the bicep as well. It's pretty good. Same thing for his left arm. Pretty good range. Still has the old wrist peg system. Ball joint and it swivels. There you go. Now for the ab crunch, he can only go that far because of the way the sculpt is. It does get obstructed by the plastic right here just a tad. Looking up, pretty decent. Pretty decent actually. Now for the waist swivel, not really. Well, it does have some decent waist swivel for what it is. Can't move too much, but rotation wise, you do get a little bit of left and right. You can't really do a full rotation like you can with the Vegeta over there without forcing it. You can, but you risk possibly breaking the figure of doing so. I'm not saying you will, but it's a possibility. The belt does have some swivel in it, so you can rotate it up and down to give yourself like different wind effects, whatever range of motion that you're trying to do. As far as the legs, he can only do the splits that far because he has that same freaking hip little plastic joints here that obstruct the range of motion coming up. And they did fix this in later videos. Later figures. That being, let's say for example, that nail figure who can do a full splits because they actually incorporated it right. Now he does have, I should have mentioned this in the video, I'll bring it back up in a second. He does have some swivel in his upper hip joints here with the thighs. I mean, a little bit of swivel there. You can't do a full 360. It does get obstructed by the plastic in the back here, but there is some rotation. Has some double knee joints. So these Gokus, these old 2.0 bodies always had some good knee joints where you can have the calf come all the way back to the back of the thigh. Really good. Same thing for the left leg. There you go. I'll try to be quick with this because this is like your typical Goku. I do have more Gokus I want to do reviews on. Toe swivel. Actually really good. Way better than Vegeta over there. Although foot range, somewhat good. Not the best. It was improved on in later figures though. Does have full rotation. There you go. Just back down. But that pretty much does it for articulation. There is no articulation for the medical machine. It's pretty much a, you might as well say like a little statue or something for display, and you just put a little stuff in there. But do want to show off the Vegeta real quick. He does have some good thigh swivel, and you can actually rotate this guy in a full 360. But it does get obstructed the way the plastic's cut at the top of the upper thigh here. But you can do it. It's a lot better range than the Goku. Just want to point that out real quick. But yeah, that pretty much does it for articulation. Now I want to move into details of these three figures. So let me get these guys set up and we'll go over that. Okay, guys. Do want to go over the details of these figures pretty good with you guys. So starting with Vegeta, I do want to point out, especially with this being a P Bandai figure, there isn't much paint going on with this guy as you would expect. This really should have just been like a general release, in my opinion. Why they made this freaking a P Bandai? Let me get his foot here on it correctly, like the way that's doing that. Got it. All right. Like that I was saying, I don't understand why they made this guy a P Bandai. Maybe because they felt like maybe people weren't going to buy it, which doesn't make sense to me if that was the thing. But again, it's not much going on paint wise. He just looks like your typical generic general release Vegeta with a few bangs and whistles added with it. Don't get me wrong. The face plates are phenomenal, as you can see. Some really nice decals put on. Like the face sculpt is really clean. Eyes have been put on really nice. It looks like a younger Vegeta from the Namek saga. It's really nice. Now the paint here, the only part that has paint are the arm pieces, but the top plates, and that being like the brown paint that's been applied to the top plate here. It's real nice, but the bottom plate itself, and I'm going to show this too, it's just a piece of brown plastic. There's no paint. There's no line, panel lining, no nothing. It's just a piece of brown plastic, and that's it. At least this is painted on, as you guys can see. It's painted, but that's it. That's really it. Now, it's still, regardless of these little gripes that I'm having right now, this is still a great figure because unfortunately, this is the only version that we have officially from SS Figuarts and Dragon Ball line that depicts Vegeta in this moment in his life. Now, detail wise, I feel like his shoulders should have been a little bit smaller. Vegeta did not have these bulky of freaking shoulders in this time period. He was drawn pretty slim. Like he was still a little muscular. Like you can see his muscles through his suit and stuff like that, but he was not this bulky. I don't know why Dimash Nation did that because they already had the arm design from the original. What was it the Saiyan Saga Armor Vegeta? That one they had the arm design there, so I was like, why would you even do that? Which is so weird. Anyhow, other than that, this Vegeta in particular is still pretty good. You know, if you're able to get him for yourself, I say get him. I say get him. But detail wise, sorry I'm going all over the place here again. But detail wise, this is pretty good, like you would be out of the anime. Of course, there's some little things they should have done a little bit better, especially with the design choices they did. I don't know why they did that, but I do kind of feel like this was kind of like a rushed figure. They were trying to hurry him get out to make some money, but that's just my opinion there. But do want to show the other armor plates too a little bit better. Like if you guys see here, I do appreciate the artmanship and the scope work that they did for the armor pieces here. For at least the damaged armor pieces, the paint really nice for the pieces that they did. The brown, the skin tone, the torn piece here, the cracks, all that's really good the way they implemented this. Same thing for the smaller piece here. It's still like the bottom pieces are just brown plastic, but I'm glad that they still painted in, you know, the proper skin tone. It does match up really well. Even at the top of the neck there, you see like it actually matches the plastic pretty good. I like that it did that. Even the blue paint there, that's real nice. There's no bleeding, there's no paint chips, no bubbling, anything like that. Good on that end. Just want to touch on that real quick. Now, for the medical machine itself, this is also another P Bandai again. This is a pre-order, and I'm not saying this could have been like a general release or anything like that. I understand why they did this. You know, probably not too many people have been interested in something like this, but the paint application, the details are still really good. Everything's really clean. I like what they did with this. As you can see here, everything's nicely painted. Like this isn't just like a little decal. Like it's actually been carved into. Like this is sculpted into the medical machine and then painted in. Like this is nice. Same thing on the side here. Some nice paint application. Nice detail. I like that. Even at the top here, at the top of the plastic ring, there's a nice little black ring that's let you know, like, this is a door, it's a window. It's pretty cool, the details they put into this. Pretty nice. Even at the top here, with the top of the medical machine, sorry. It's just nice. Of course, there's not really much going on at the bottom. Your typical plastic mold there. You open it up. Again, like, it's good quality plastic. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna break this thing or anything like that. It's pretty sturdy to be over $100. The Goku inside, it's your typical general release Goku. You guys have probably heard this a million times. I've actually brought out another Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. Look at there, second one. But yeah, same exact one. You'll see that there's a little bit of shading going on the legs, not much at all. A little bit of shading going on the top of the shirt, but other than that, it's pretty much your typical Goku that you find for $35. Of course, like the little, got the like nice little Son Goku logo, say logo, but his gi symbol in the back here, and in the front here. But other than that, this was a nice representation of Goku from the Namek Saga. Like, we've gotten better figures over the years, but this was a first good attempt. Like, it's still holding up to this day. A lot of people still hold on to this Goku. You see, I have multiple of them that I use. But oh, and the faceplates. Sorry, the faceplates are still pretty good for this Goku in its time, especially this faceplate here. This nice little smiling face here. It's really nice. Nice little touch there. Yeah, a lot of the faceplates, I'll show this off more too. A lot of the faceplates are really good for this $35 release. Speaking of which, I do want to show the Vegeta faceplates a little bit better. And you guys see the amount of detail they put in these faces are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like, there's actual sweat. Like, they got this guy tearing up in his eyes, tears rolling down his cheeks and stuff like that. Really nice. Really nice. And it really captures this moment in time for Dragon Ball. Bring some more out here. You guys can see up close. Like, look at the detail in the face sculpt here for the. I should have showed this in the beginning of the video, but it's a lot. But you see the vein details. I do like when they do this for their premium Bandai figures. Like, you're putting in that extra care into the sculpt that you wouldn't be able to do for probably like a mass production figure. These are made supposedly made to order, to pre-order, excuse me. But I like the little sweat details, the veins popping out. Like, you see how serious he is. Like, that's Vegeta. And then you have his angry face, real quick. Not too much going on here. There's a lot of Vegeta faces that we have that'll pretty much replicate this. But the coolest ones have, of course, been the detailed ones. And then we have the very first time we have a sleeping Vegeta face. Just real cool there. It's real cool. But, alright, guys. That'll pretty much wrap it up for the details of these figures. Now I want to give you guys the final thoughts of this. Sorry. Let me clean up here, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. This will pretty much be my final thoughts on everything here. So, what do I think about all this? If you're able to get pretty much these three items in front of me, the Saiyan Raised on Earth and Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, of course the old style battle clothes Vegeta for a decent price, and the medical machine, it's getting pretty up there in price, but still relatively decent for these times. If you're able to get these in your collection, I say get them. It's not, I say for the medical machine, because there's only so much you can do with this thing, because you're pretty much just having to put another Goku in this thing and it's sitting on your shelf. I wouldn't say it's like something that you feel like you need to have, but if you do want to complete your collection for the SS Figuarts line in Dragon Ball Z, I say do it. It's not hurting anything. It's real nice sitting on display, because I have mine usually sitting in the back here on my table. The Vegeta, if you want to have, I say all the Vegetas, especially during this Namek saga time, I say get them. This is the first time we have a Vegeta in his old style battle clothes. We always wanted them. Of course, people had to make their own in the past, but now we officially have him. Now, he does have his pros and cons. The face scopes, as I mentioned before, are amazing. The paint apps, where they are applied, are pretty good, but the way they implemented the different armor pieces, it could have been implemented better. Because if they were to just took a separate torso and just made it where the arm piece is already there, I just don't like how they have these gaps because you're clearly pressing in the pieces. Hopefully, this doesn't break over time or anything like that. I don't think it will, but it does look ugly at certain angles because you see the armor just kind of separating itself from the figure. But that's that. Of course, the range of motion isn't the best because of the way this guy is sculpted. But as far as looks, articulation, price, the accessories that come with this guy, I would honestly just give him a solid 7.5. Honestly, because there's a lot of things that could have been done better here, but from what you're getting for the current price, not bad, not bad at all. Medical machine, you know, it's another. I mean, it's like what more could have been done with this? I'm not sure. That's a hard one. From what it is for the gimmicks that are in there, because they could just left this bare plastic with the opening here for the window. But no, it does have the light up gimmicks in it, and you can change the batteries out. From what this is, I would give this an 8. I'm not really sure what they could have done better, but from what this is, the paint and stuff like that, everything's nicely applied. It does not feel cheap. Feels of really nice, good quality, even opening the door and closing it back and forth. You see the Goku in there. Really nice. I don't feel like I'm going to break anything. And it does come in instructions to show you how to put all this stuff back together. But really good. I wish they wouldn't have charged 90 freaking dollars for this thing, 90 plus dollars for this, because it's even more expensive now. It's gone in price. But again, this isn't something that you need to have. If you want to have any of the extra bucks to get it, I say go for it. Add it to your collection. As far as the Goku in there, these are pretty much a dime a dozen. It's pretty good for what it was at the time. This is about a good 8 out of 10 because you have for one, it's a decent scope for what it was. The shading's pretty decent. It's not overbearing or anything like that. It's a good representation of Goku when he first arrived on Namek. The face that come with this guy are really nice, especially for the price, being at only $35. Just really good overall. I'm not really good in this figure. Other than that, I say again, if you're able to get this stuff for a decent price, that's like I always mention, that's in your budget because stuff is outrageously priced, go for it. But that's been my take on this whole stuff, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review of these figures in my collection. As always, until next time, see you then.